She stood across from me, separated only by the kitchen island. Her eyes fixed on mine with a clarity that cut through me like glass. Her voice didn't waver when she spoke. I'm not just reaching for the salt shaker. I'm telling you I'm going to be with other men. If there is such a thing as a single instant that splits your existence cleanly into a before and an after, that was mine. The refrigerator hummed steadily, and the ice maker rattled faintly in the background, the ordinary sounds of domestic life carrying on as if nothing had just imploded. My wedding ring, something I'd worn for years without thinking, suddenly weighed heavily against my skin, pressing into me like a chain I hadn't realized I was bound to. I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing coherent emerged, just a dry, bitter breath that felt hollow as it escaped. The stale trace of yesterday's espresso clung to my tongue, mocking the normalcy I had believed in just moments earlier. You imagine these moments, at least in passing. How you'd react if the unimaginable struck in your own home. You picture yelling, pleading, or carefully sculpting the right words like an orator or diplomat. But when it came, I froze. My hand clenched the dish towel as though it were the only thing tethering me to the floor. My body stiff, my eyes fixed on her face as though it were a photograph of a gathering storm I couldn't stop. Finally, I forced words through my throat. You're joking, right? She gave a slow, almost imperceptible shake of her head, her gaze dropping to the countertop. Her finger traced along its edge as if outlining the geography of a path she'd already chosen. I'm not joking, she murmured. I can't keep pretending this isn't what I need. It hit harder because of the life we had built, the layers we had stacked together. Our dog barking furiously at every mail carrier as though they were threats to our world. The mortgage that bound us with invisible threads of responsibility. The old coffee maker sputtering each morning as though it struggled to keep up with us. I remembered the beginning, 7 summers back at a friend's barbecue, when I first met Lena. She had been the spark that lit up every circle she stood in. The way she tilted her head while listening, just slightly, as if tuning in more deeply than anyone else. That tiny gesture captured me before anything else. We had fallen in love quickly, fought gently, and settled into a rhythm people envied. Friends came to us for advice, on travel, on finances, even on trivial choices like what vacuum to buy. We made playlists for lazy Sundays, road trips, cleaning days when we danced with brooms in hand. It was an ordinary kind of magic, beautiful precisely because it was simple. But like sand slipping through fingers, it had been fading without me noticing. Her phone began spending more time face down. She came home later, blaming work drinks. She tuned into podcasts about relationship openness, narrating stories of couples who claimed honesty and freedom made them stronger. I nodded along because nodding is easier than arguing. Then one evening she asked casually, "Do you ever think monogamy is just a story we cling to?" I laughed it off. She didn't. I turned it into a joke, and secretly prayed it would stay a harmless question. But the night it all unraveled arrived quietly. No slammed doors, no screaming, no shattered plates. She had cooked pasta. I grated Parmesan until it snowed over the stovetop. She brushed away the excess with her wrist and said calmly, "I need to tell you something. And I need you to really hear me." Expecting something ordinary, maybe a complaint about her boss or a gripe about my mother's endless meme messages, I smiled and told her to go ahead. That's when she dropped it. "I'm going to be with other men. I've wanted this for a long time. I love you, and I don't want to lose us, but I can't deny myself anymore." The words detonated inside my chest like a siren with no escape routes. Somewhere far away, I heard myself ask, "And what does that mean for us?" Her response was clear. "We stay together. We set new rules. Couples do this all the time. We'll be honest, transparent. You can explore too." She reached out for my hand, but instinctively, I pulled away. Her gentle tone only deepened the sting, like ice pressed to raw skin. In that moment, I learned something I'd never fully understood before. You can be both furious and powerless in the same breath. You can know exactly what you want and still feel unable to claim it. I retreated upstairs. The dog followed me, nails tapping against the hardwood, sensing the unease in the air. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the hollow dent my body left in the mattress, as if even the furniture acknowledged my weight differently now. I tried to picture a world where I could love her while she was with other men. The thought sputtered and broke apart like a scratched record skipping endlessly. My mind drifted back to our wedding vows. Her voice trembling not from doubt, but from sincerity. She had meant those words. Or at least, I thought she had. But that was another lifetime. That was the before. By the time I went back downstairs, my voice was steady, but my insides shook. I asked, "When does this start?" "I've already met someone," she admitted. "We haven't crossed any lines yet. But it will happen soon." A bitter laugh escaped me, sharp and jagged. "And if I say no?" She looked at me with pity, as if I were a child begging for an extra hour before bedtime. "I'm not asking permission. This is who I am now. I want you to stay. I hope you will." That night I got in the car and drove aimlessly, the motion a distraction from the suffocating silence at home. I stopped at a gas station, left the engine running, and just sat. I watched a man scratch at a lottery ticket on his hood, a nurse yawning behind the counter, life continuing as if my entire world hadn't been reduced to rubble. I called my brother. He answered on the third ring, cursed under his breath, and told me to come to his place. I couldn't. Saying it aloud would make it more real than I was ready to face. So eventually I drove back, returning to the house with its humming refrigerator and the woman who had just opened a door I could never walk through. No matter how much she wished I would.